So good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again, fresh off of the back of this Jadon Sancho news. It's taking a turn. The snowball effect. He's been called out by his manager. He's then called the manager out. And now, as I record this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Spanish time, on Tuesday, the 5th of September, the club are apparently locked in discussions to potentially get him out the football club. This is crazy. This has took a mad turn. But anyway, before we get into discussing the ins and outs, exactly what was said, my thoughts and views on it, make sure you are smashing the like button. Make sure you check out the video I did about Mohamed Salah earlier. Like I said, as I'm recording this, he is still a Liverpool player. But by the time you watch this video, he may not be. So go and check that video out. Make sure you leave your comments and super chats down below as well. And as I record it, I am less than 60 away from 20k. So by the time you watch it, we may have already hit 20k. So happy days. But anyway, let's go through this this Sancho story. Let's go through this real quick. Where are we? There we go. Right. So Jadon Sancho has released a passionate statement after being criticised by Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag, claiming he has been repeatedly made a scapegoat. Sancho was missing from the 3-1 defeat to my team, with ten Hag revealing after the match he was dropped on his performance in training. Jadon on his performance in training was not selected, said ten Hag. You have to reach a level at Manchester United every day, and we can make the choice in the front line. So far for this game, he was not selected, but barely an hour after his manager's public statement, Sancho launched in his defense with a lively post on social media. He wrote, "Please do not believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I've conducted myself in training very well this week. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't get into. I have been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. All I want to do is play football with a smile on my face and contribute to my team. I respect all decisions that are made by the coaching staff, and I play with fantastic players and grateful to do so, which I know every week is a challenge. I will continue to fight for this badge no matter what." Now, let's just go back to what Ten Hag said. Where are we? You have to reach a level at Manchester United every day, and we can make choices in the front line. Right, well, that's complete and utter garbage straight away from Ten Hag. You have to reach a performance at Man United, and we can make, the selections in the front line. They lost 7-0 to Liverpool last season. The very next game, he started all of them. So it doesn't matter about your performance, does it? They then had a poor performance against Wolves. Excuse me. And then the very next game, sorry, Jesus Christ. The very next game, they started him again. I have a frog in my throat, tickling it. But anyway, so he's basically lying about performance. You have to reach a level of performance because that's a barefaced lie. We've seen, since he's been manager, constantly pick certain players. Anthony, for example. Now, if I'm Jadon Sancho and I'm sitting there, and I'm seeing Anthony play every week, stinking it out, and I'm better than him, which I think Sancho is, then I'm knocking on the door saying, "Boss, why is he playing every week?" Now, listen, we don't know what happens in training. We're not there. What I do know is that he's done this before, Sancho. He's been fined at Dortmund for repeatedly turning up late for training. He's done it at Man City before, when he was a Man City player, before he left to go to Dortmund. So he does have previous in terms of not training properly. Now, just because you're not training properly doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't play. There's a lot of players over the history of football that don't train properly, didn't like training, didn't want to train, but still performed on match day. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? Now, this is going to go one way and one way only for me. And that is Jadon Sancho leaving the football club at some point, whether that be before the transfer window in Saudi shuts. I'm not sure when the Turkey transfer window shuts. I think that's Thursday as well, right? Or he's just cast aside and sat in the the under-21s or under-23s or whatever it is. I don't think we're seeing play for Man United again anytime soon. But I do think at some point he will be leaving the football club. Now, there is talks to terminate his contract. I don't think that's going to happen. He's on a lot of money and he's still got a few years left. I don't think they'll terminate his contract, but I don't know really what to believe here, because we know that Ten Hag's a compulsive liar, like most football managers. But Jadon Sancho does have previous. So maybe it's a bit of both. Now, I've seen a lot of people having their say on this, which is why I waited. Because I wanted to see what everyone else was saying and collate all the information together and then just give my opinion on it. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying, well, there's obviously a line of command, a chain of command. But at the same time, if the manager's calling me out and I'm Jadon Sancho for saying that I wasn't very good in training, and I'm thinking I'm good in training, then I'm having my say. On the flip side, maybe Ten Hag shouldn't have said anything. Why wasn't Sancho in the squad today? I just went with that squad today. That's what I thought was best to try and win the game. That's it. It's done. It's nipped in the bud. Bish, bash, bosh. That's it. Also, Jadon could have gone and knocked on the door on Monday or Tuesday, whenever they're back in training after the game, and said, Gaffer, you know, why did you say that? Yeah, and then they could have had a sit down and they could have said, well, look, you ain't been good in training compared to the other people in training, and I'm picking players based off of training. There's a communication breakdown here, and I don't see it being repaired anytime soon. I do think Jadon's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. You know, we've seen, like I've said, he's turned up late for training multiple times at Dortmund and Man City. And that was when he was a lot younger. And now he's being called out for his training now. So based off of previous, you'd say he's probably a slacker in training, or he just don't care about training. So is the manager right based off of that, if that is the case? Well, yeah. But to come out publicly, I think it's a bit of a bad move. And especially when Man United have just had the Anthony news drop. They've just got rid of Greenwood to Hetafe after all of that 18-month palaver. I think he's dropped a bollock here, Ten Hag. And now, the whole of the next 2 weeks while the international games are on, it's all about Jadon Sancho, Ten Hag, Jadon Sancho, Ten Hag. All he had to do was say, I just didn't pick him for tactical reasons. He wasn't in the squad because I thought that was the squad that was going to get us through the game. Mikel Arteta's done this before. You know, Gabriel Magalhaes ain't started the first 3 games of the season. Tactical reasons. He's on the bench. That's it. That's it. It's nipped in the bud. Now, you've got more statements coming out of Man United than you have wins this year. Like this season. 3 statements have already come out. Greenwood's one, Anthony's one, and Sancho's one. It's crazy. Man United are so far away from what they used to be. It's actually embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. But it also shows that there is a lack of respect at that football club from top to bottom and bottom to top. Because it's just a mess. Everyone's just cussing each other off. Nobody really cares. Yeah. And this all comes back to the Glazers. Because the way they've allowed that club to just be run into the football ground, into the ground, is actually embarrassing. The training ground's a disgrace. The stadium's falling down. You know, the facilities are poor. You've got players just doing what they like. Yeah, for me, that club's a shadow of what it used to be and the shadow of what made it great. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, oh, you know, I was talking to Kenny and Jez yesterday on the podcast. For me, I think Fergie's still an issue. He's sitting there in the stands every week, nicking $3 million a year, not saying nothing about the Glazers. Whereas he could come out, not take the $3 million. He don't need the money, and say, well, actually, they are an issue. But he ain't. He's protecting his own job. He's protecting his own money. Yeah, and it's to the detriment of Man United. And I don't really see where this club are going. I don't, apart from down and down and down. They might nick the odd cup here and there, but they're so far away from being great. It is unbelievable. And if I was a Man United fan, I'd be fuming. Like, honestly, I'd be fuming. Especially when you've still got players at that football club that shouldn't be there. You can force players out of a football club. It's easy to do. Stick Harry Maguire in the under-21s. So you ain't playing all season, mate. Yeah, we ain't registering you for a squad. You're out. Watch how quick he leaves to take a pay cut then. Yeah, watch how quick you get him out. That now frees up a squad place. Just let Eric Bailly go. Yeah, so was it Galatasaray or Besiktas? I think it was Galatasaray. He's gone. Just let Eric or Besiktas. Either way, he's gone to one Turkish team. But you've got Johnny Evans there. Like, make it make sense. Yeah, and this comes down to the manager, the hierarchy, and the ownership. Yeah, the ownership have employed these people, so the buck stops with them really. But at the same time, the manager is making on-field decisions, and some of his on-field decisions are just laughable. You know, 7-0 loss, and then you pick the same 11 the next game. Unbelievable. You've got Harry Maguire on the pitch at the same time as Johnny Evans. Like, Man United are an absolute mess, and I don't really see how it changes unless you get new owners. And what's going on with that? That's been dragging on for about 10 months. Still ain't any closer to seeing them come through the door. Just a big spiral of BS at the moment. And now you've got the whole Anthony debacle. He's now been dropped from the Brazilian national team. Yeah, statements come out their end saying he ain't getting put in the team. So he's not on international break. He's issued a statement about what's alleged to have happened. Take 2 statements in 2 days, like 3 statements in just over a week. Like, it's unbelievable. That football club is mad. Anyway, ain't my football club. I'm just giving my views on it. Let me know your views on it. Let me know what you think. Is Jadon Sancho in the wrong for biting back? Is it Ten Hag's fault for calling him out? Or is it both? A bit of both. Is he good in training? I don't know. I don't watch Man United training sessions. I'm not there, like most of us. I don't know if they stream them on MUTV and you can see all of that because I don't have it. But let me know in the comment section what you think. Is Sancho the problem? Or is Ten Hag the problem? Or are they both the problem and maybe they should both leave? I don't know. You let me know. Leave it in the comment section down below. And make sure you are smashing the like button up. Appreciate each and every one of you. Go and check out the video about Salah, potential world record move. Check out the show I did with Rants and the show I did on the Football Terrace as well with Terry. Make sure you are subscribing. Come on. Let's get it over 20 if it ain't already. Like I said, I'm recording this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, all have a blessed day. Comments and super chats down below. We're out of here, people.